Family, welcome to the channel. Dope Soul Sports Talk, Dope Soul Knicks Talk, a member of the NBK family. This is the Just Nick and It Weekly Show. I'm your host, Stephanie, aka Queen. I am back in New York City where the internet is good. I got 3 windows open right now. I can see what the like total is. Salute to my family back in Middle Georgia, auntie, uncle, sis, cousins. I appreciate you all, but y'all got to get that internet together down there. I don't know when I'll be back. Anyway, we got a lot to talk about today. Damian Lillard traded to the Milwaukee Bucks. Does that change anything for the Knicks? Does that change how many games you think the Knicks will win? Does that change where you thought the Knicks would, where you think the Knicks will finish in the Eastern Conference? We'll talk about Jrue Holiday if he's still available. Somebody in the chat said he wasn't available. I didn't see any trade go down, but do you think the Knicks are close to contention, where, they should pursue a trade for 33-year-old Jrue Holiday, or do you feel like it's not even about contention? We'll talk about that. We'll talk about whether or not he fits with Brunson. We'll talk about Giannis, perhaps is off the table right now. We'll talk about whether or not the Knicks should stay with their strategy of holding on to their assets for a superstar to become available, because it seems like whenever they're close, boom, something else happens to solidify them. If Philly gets Jrue Holiday, maybe Embiid, is off the board as well. We shall see. Anyway, shout out to the chat. We are joined to, there we go. Jerrell, Geoff, Ajay. How you guys doing?
Superb. Salute, salute, salute.
We are good. I'm
Yeah,
good.
man. Salute to the chat. It's always good to be here. You know how we do on Thursdays.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's about to go down. All right. Let's get, let's get right into it. Well, let's just start off a little slow.
Okay.
Does the Dame trade change anything for the Knicks before we get into Jrue Holiday and what have you? Does Dame getting traded to Milwaukee change anything for the New York Knicks, in your opinion? Shout out to the chat again. Appreciate you guys.
I guess I'll go first. I think it changes. I mean, Milwaukee was a team that a lot of people didn't think we would be higher than anyway. I, for one, thought that we could contend with them for the East, them in Boston. I think we're above Philly. So, like the last time we talked about predictions and stuff, I think I predicted like we'll finish like around 3.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like they'll just still be 1, but I think that this makes them a lot better though. Like I understand that Jrue Holiday is a better defender, but Damian Lillard is a beast. Like he averaged like 32, 7 and 5, I think, something like that. He had a 71-point game just last season. So this is a big deal for them. It's a big deal for the rest of the league because I actually think this makes Milwaukee the team to beat in the East. Like by far to me now. Like before, I actually thought it would be between them and Boston, with us, hopefully sneak it up to 3.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're above Boston now.
Yeah. I would agree with that, and I'll add real quick. Dame can close. I mean, the thing with Giannis at the end of a game is if they pack in the key, is he going to hit a 3? Is he going to hit a mid-range? If they foul him, is he going to hit his free throws? Dame, you don't have to worry about any of that. So that's a pretty good match. Anybody else? Does the Dame trade change anything for the Knicks, in your opinion?
For the Knicks, no, but I think there's a couple things that we need to talk about with Milwaukee, at least in my mind. They did lose not just one of their better perimeter defenders, but 2. Mm-hmm. They traded 2 starters in that trade because Grayson Allen was a starter as well. And so now you have Damian Lillard and probably either Malik Beasley or Pat Connaughton. I don't know who they're starting at the 2, but so you're dealing with a backcourt situation that's very similar to, in my mind at any rate, to Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland. And we saw what a trouble they had when it came to the playoffs defending the point of attack. Now, if you have a Chris Middleton that's healthy, I think that you can you'll be okay. But Chris Middleton played 33 games last year and hasn't had, I don't think he's played more than 70 since like 2017, 2018. Correct me if I'm wrong there, but he hasn't played a full season in a while. So, and Dame hasn't been the healthiest character on the block either. And so, and Giannis has missed some time too. So this was their all-in move. That's their big home run swing. They need it to work, and they need to be healthy at the right time, because if it doesn't work and if they are injured and they're out in the first round again, Giannis can still pack his bags and say, I don't want to be a part of this anymore. You know, Middleton's not getting any younger, and neither is Dame. I think I want to see those two together because I think they're going to be incredible. But at the same time, as a Jets fan who, you know, we had Super Bowl aspirations, and then Aaron Rodgers gets hurt after 4 plays, and now we're struggling, you know, we're not even going to make the playoffs probably. So life comes at you fast a lot of times. And so I think that while on paper, I absolutely agree with Jerrell's assessment 100%. I think that there's definitely some room there for question mark, especially when it comes to health. And the other thing is, who are they getting to guard Jalen Brunson now? Because you could just put Jrue on him, and Jrue gives him fits. He's bigger, he's stronger, he's tough. Dame ain't checking no Jalen Brunson. He gonna put him in the meat grinder. Now, Brunson may not be able to guard Dame either, but that's not going to be the primary assignment for him. I mean, we're going to put Grimes or Quickley or even DiVincenzo is going to be the guys who are going to be checking Dame. And we can hide, again, they don't really have a strong 2-guard spot right now. So we can hide Brunson on whoever they got at the 2. They don't have that luxury. And man, I think as far as an individual matchup, and the Bucks have kind of owned us the last couple of years, I think just from a head-to-head matchup, I think we may actually play better against this version of them than we did the previous one, just because of matchups. Now, overall, if they're healthy, again, I got to agree with what Jerrell had to say. You muted.
You're muted.
What are your thoughts on Dame being a net positive, in the sense that even though he's not going to be able to defend, pretty much on a night-to-night basis, he'll probably win his matchup in terms of just being able to severely outscore whoever he's playing against?
I'll agree with, I think he's going to be a net positive, but there's still, I think there are issues. I don't think you can just go in and not have anybody to guard the point of attack. I mean, you know, you can say that defense isn't quite as important as it used to be. I mean, I don't think anyone thinks that the Denver Nuggets of this year were like the best defensive team you ever saw. So maybe it's not as important as an old head like me thinks that it should be. Mm-hmm. But and I think he's going to get buckets. I mean, I do. I think it works really well. But you're always saying in the playoffs, you know, and you go up against these teams and you don't have any backcourt players. There's a lot of really good backcourt players out there. And we saw it with Cleveland. I mean, Cleveland had Evan Mobley. Cleveland had you know, Jared Allen, 2 really good big men, and they couldn't guard anybody. The Knicks destroyed them. And so, you know, now I will say this: I think Lillard's a better player than either one of those guards in Cleveland.
No doubt.
Right.
And he's never played with anybody like Giannis. So, I mean, there's a potential for it to be awesome. But I just my only point is that I don't think you should just be planning the cheese parade just yet.
Yeah, I definitely get that. I'll also say this about Cleveland. They were inexperienced. So I don't know if part of it was just that, their two guards can't guard. I think a lot of it also was inexperience, especially from Garland's perspective. He was up and down. He didn't really look like the Garland we saw in the regular, season, similar to Quickley and Grimes, though I don't think his performance was as bad, but he just wasn't, so some of it for him, how he looked was inexperienced. But yeah, definitely if they're not healthy, it's a wrap, but I mean, you could say that for any team, Ajay, any thoughts of does this trade change anything for the Knicks and anything else overall you want to say about it?
Well, first of all, y'all got to hit the like button. There are 72 people watching and 19 likes. That is insanely.
Yeah. Let me give myself a like.
Come on now. I mean,
Sometimes it's just a matter of Thank you for reminding. Some of us
that's the percentage is crazy. Does that change anything for the Knicks? I don't think so. I mean, listen, we play Milwaukee 4 times a year. It's only 4 games out of 82. And what are the odds of us meeting them in the playoffs? You really got to worry about them in the playoffs, okay? Head-to-head matchup in the playoffs. But in terms of Milwaukee, I don't know how you look at that trade and don't say that Milwaukee Bucks got better. I mean, you're adding Damian Lillard. Yeah, you're losing defense in Jrue Holiday, but Dame Lillard is going to make up for that lack of defense that he brings. And let's not forget the rest of the team, they're no scrub on defense either. Giannis is a pretty good defender. You got the both Lopez brothers, and Brook and Robin, as crazy as he is a pretty good defender. So you have guys down there that can defend. If you get beat at the point of attack, you have backups. You have guys that'll step in, and Chris Middleton, if he can stay healthy, he's not a scrub defender. So I don't know how you look at that trade and think it's not a good trade. And as Geoff mentioned, anybody tell you defense win championship, they haven't been watching the game in the last few years. It is not as important as it used to be. You can't be a poor defensive team and think you're going to win a championship, but you can't be all defense and think you're going to win either. Okay. Jerrell said, nobody thinks that Denver was the greatest, the best defensive team last year. And Golden State Warriors had won, I don't know, like 100 championships in the last 5 years. And they did have good defense, but Stephen Curry, he's not the great. He was not defending the point of attack. There was always somebody in the backcourt that was free because Steph Curry had to watch them. Okay, so listen, if you can add Damian Lillard, you do. I don't care who, unless for Jrue Holiday, I would have done that trade. I think it's a great trade for Milwaukee. The only thing I'm worried about, I hope he doesn't end up in Miami because, I know I don't like Miami.
Boston.
Yep.
Philly.
Name a team.
Or the Brooklyn Nets. or the Brooklyn Nets. I just hope he doesn't end up in any one of those places. Come give us a problem over here. I hope he stays out west, and we only have to worry about him twice. And if we make the finals, right. So I hope he stays over there. So don't come over here. We don't want you out here in the East.
Yeah.
Unless you're coming to the Knicks.
Yeah.
One quick thing I wanted to add: we played Portland twice. We played the West Coast team twice this season. The first time, I think they beat us in overtime, but Dame didn't play. But then the time that Dame did play, he gave us 38, 7, and 7.
He gave us fits.
Yes.
And I was like, why are we not double teaming?
Right. But to our credit,
you talking about this past season, Jerrell?
Yeah, this past season. He gave us 38, 7.
He did play the first game.
I think he played.
I think he played or did he play one of those games he didn't play, and the other game.
Listen, all I remember one of those games, it was us against them and the refs. It was a horribly call. I remember that game. It was like the refs was crazy that game.
That was probably the overtime game. That was when
Oh my God.
Dame didn't play that game. But the game that he played, Brunson didn't
Oh
play.
yeah, you're right. What's his name? What the forward, the power forward?
Yeah,
Jeremy Grant.
Jeremy Grant. Yeah,
Grant
Jeremy
played.
Grant had a monster. Yes, that's
Yeah,
right.
Grant
Dame
killed.
didn't play. You're right.
But then
Jeremy
the other game, Grant didn't play, and Dame
Yeah.
still gave us 38,
Yeah,
7,
yeah.
and 7.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't know if it changes anything for the Knicks. I had Milwaukee and Boston above the Knicks, but I thought Milwaukee was aging. I mean, and listen, you add in, Dame, they're still aging, but I think they aging right now. like before, I'm
Aging
like,
like a wine now
yeah,
instead of like
right. Before I'm like, they're aging. The Knicks might be able to take them. Now they're aging. they ripening. This is a different type of age right now. Listen, Milwaukee is a better team. To Jeff's point, if they stay healthy, you get an opportunity to get Dame. You go all in, especially after Giannis already put you on notice that I'm not staying here.
Right.
And I think, that has something to do with it. They're a small market team. I wonder if they felt comfortable with Giannis staying if they would have made this move. I don't know, but it didn't hurt, that he said that. And yeah. We shall see. Do you think it changes the Knicks win total? Does it change where you thought the Knicks would finish? Like I still feel the Knicks can finish as high as third. I never had the Knicks finishing 1 or 2 anyway. I had the Knicks finishing between 3 and 5. Does this change, in your opinion, how many games the Knicks would win or where they would finish in the Eastern Conference?
Nah, not to me. I think it'll be pretty much the same. Like, even though they do have Dame, that's not saying that we wouldn't be able to beat them in the regular season. Like, the regular season is way different than the series. So, yeah, we could sweep them during the regular season with Dame, but that doesn't mean anything when it comes to the playoffs. So, I don't think it changes the record total at all.
I had Milwaukee above us beforehand, and I still have them. So it's like, that's why it doesn't change the calculus for me. Boston and Milwaukee are still better than us, and anywhere from, as you said, 3 to 6, I think is probably the sweet spot for this Knicks team.
Yeah.
So I did not have Milwaukee above us because I think when we did that, I had Boston and Cleveland, us, then Milwaukee as a toss-up.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's still the same. I think we could either end up third or fourth with, it's going to be those 4 teams at the top. All right. Boston's probably better than everybody else in the East. But right now, well, that's what I used to think. But right now, I don't know. It could be Boston, Milwaukee, and then us and Cleveland going to be fighting for that third spot. So. And in terms of, I don't know,
Philly though, especially if they get Jrue Holiday.
Well, yeah, that's if they get Jrue Holiday, we're gonna have to do another show,
Right?
Because that changes everything,
right?
So,
but you wanted to say something else?
No, I was gonna say in terms of some rumbling about this increases the chance. It changes nothing for the Knicks in terms of trade, in terms of Jrue Holiday, in terms of if Giannis is unhappy, if things don't work out with Dame over there, he might be unhappy, and the Knicks have a chance. Yeah, the Knicks have a chance, and so do the other 28 teams in the league. It changes nothing. No more for us than it changed for everybody else. If that doesn't work out with Dame over there and Giannis is unhappy, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it really doesn't change much for us, like as an organization, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, one thing, and I was going to get to this later, but we could talk about it now before we get to the Jrue Holiday possibilities. It's possible Giannis is off the table now. It's possible, and it brought up the question for me about the Knicks front office strategy or widely held strategy, widely believed strategy that they're waiting for a star, and now Giannis is potentially off the board, right? Maybe not, maybe 2-3 years down the line, he's back on the board. But there was this sentiment that he might ask out, sooner, right? So everybody's holding on to their assets and what have you because Giannis might, ask out next year. I don't think that's going to be the case. Who knows? All right, so now Embiid is still in play. Things get settled down in Philly, and now Embiid is not in play. So I guess I'm just revisiting now in light of Giannis being off the board and Embiid potentially being off the board. Where are you now after having watched this for a few years with the Knicks strategy of waiting for a superstar? Do you still feel the same way you felt, whatever it was? I don't remember. Or are you feeling kind of different now? About this strategy.
That's tough. Maybe because I don't like the way they did the Donovan Mitchell trade. Because if they wanted him, I think they should have got him. Like I can see if they didn't want Donovan Mitchell, but they obviously did, and they hit the snooze button for some reason, and Cleveland got him. So just because of that left a little bit of sour taste in my mouth with the front office. So I don't know if Milwaukee can do this. Yeah, we should have been able to make a move, and I don't think we're going to now. If it is, it's going to be Embiid, I would guess, because I don't see anybody else. I don't know, with the connections, maybe Donovan Mitchell still, never know. But I don't see Cleveland actually trading him to us, even though this is a contract year. They'll trade him somewhere else. Unless he would have to actually open his mouth and say that he wants to come to the Knicks, though. But until a player says that or does that in the media, I don't think we're going to get anybody. Not to that magnitude.
You sounded, we ain't getting nobody.
Because I just don't see them. I don't see them pulling the trigger. Like, they haven't showed us that they're willing to do that. Like, that Donovan Mitchell trade showed me that they're kind of, apprehensive of doing something like that. Like, they want to be more cautious. So I don't see them pulling. I don't see them doing what Milwaukee just did.
Right. But let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they're not willing to pull the trigger, or do you feel like there hasn't been a player available that they wanted?
So you're saying that they don't view Donovan Mitchell as somebody in like Dame's category like that?
No. I think they were on board with Dame, and I believe had they knew Brunson was going to be this,
they would have did it.
I think they would have. I think they would have did it, because I think at that time, obviously, none of us are in the front office, so none of us know for sure what they were thinking. But I'm guessing they were like, if we give up all of this for Donovan, we're gonna need somebody else,
right?
Because they wasn't aware that they had somebody else. that
right.
Brunson was Brunson. So I'm thinking, had they known that, they would have done it. But are you saying, though, aside from that, just looking forward, like other than Donovan Mitchell, would you say that maybe there wasn't anybody they wanted, or do you still feel like they're just gun shy?
Well, a little bit of both, because I don't even think who's available. Like, it's not even about who they want at this time. Like, who's available? Like, if
That's what I'm saying.
if the player isn't available, we can't fault them for not getting him. I fault Donovan Mitchell just because he was available.
Right.
But what you just said, though, kind of puts a twist on the question, because they can't wait anymore. Like, it has to be either this year or next year, because that's the window with Jalen Brunson. So now that, like you said, they know that Jalen Brunson is the man now, or he can play to that level, they almost have to go after somebody, to me. But who that person is, I don't know. Like, seemed like that kind of, jump started the time clock. Like, it escalated things, like you said. So I don't know. That's a good point with the Jalen Brunson point. I didn't think of that, because now we got 2 years. We talked about the window almost every show. So they got 2 years to do this if they want to. I don't want to say keep their job, but Something got to happen. Let's just say that, or we're not going to have the same team that we have now.
Yeah, I mean, yes, something's got to happen. They're not trading. They're not drafting. Something's got to happen.
That is true. They're not trading or drafting, so they're pretty much just staying pat and hoping everybody develops. Yeah, I wouldn't do that though.
I think they misread the Donovan Mitchell situation a little bit though too. I don't think they thought there was a Cleveland out there.
Right.
And so I think that they were trying to play hardball and they didn't realize who had what cards at the table, so to speak.
They overplayed their hand. That's exactly what I thought. Yeah. Yeah.
And so I think that, and that I think that comes with a little bit of inexperience on the part of the front office. I mean, Leon Rose never had this job before. He's been an agent. So I think that might have had a little bit to do with it. But, if you really like Donovan Mitchell, I don't think that the book is closed on Mitchell permanently anyway. As the closer that he gets to free agency, if Cleveland isn't taking a step forward, I could see him back in New York. It may not be here, but I think it's either going to be us or the Nets. If he has another destination, I think it's going to either be with the Knicks or with Brooklyn. And I would bet on Brooklyn at this point, but I know Knicks fans don't want to hear that, but that just seems to be the way the Nets operate.
Yeah. Ajay, did you weigh in on, just your thoughts on the Knicks strategy? And the only reason I ask is because I feel like there's rumors, and you like, oh, okay, the Knicks have the assets. We might be able to get one. You might be re-signed. Oh, we might be able to get one. We bring in another player. Now they satisfy. So right. I'm like, and we just keep holding on and waiting and waiting and waiting.
And Queen, listen. I've said many times, I don't know what they're doing. I'm hoping they know what they're doing, but we just don't know. Like, there's no rhyme or reason in like which direction they're going. I mean, we do know they like to get Tom Thibodeau guys or guys that Tom Thibodeau like, but other than that, we have no idea what they're doing. I mean, there's been a lot of players available that the Knicks we feel they could have gone after that would have made the team better, but they never even looked their way.
Yeah,
and that's the thing for me. I don't think they're thinking. I think they're just shooting for the moon. Like, I don't think they're thinking stepwise. Like,
right,
we can improve the team, then improve the team. And then when a superstar becomes available, we'll go after the superstar. It's like, no, we holding tight right here to everything we have until this superstar becomes available. Listen, I would have took a flyer on Christian Woods as a minimum salary guy, but the way the Knicks are operating, and part of it I like that the Knicks seem to be in the mold of a San Antonio or Miami, in the sense that we have our culture. We, these are the type of players that, we're looking for. And if you don't fit, you don't fit. And we're just not going to go after you. I like that after years of the Knicks just being a hot mess. I like us having that identity. At the same time, though, I feel like we're kind of locking ourselves into this rotation, and we're not taking any flyers on anybody, even at a minimum salary. I would have brought in Kelly Oubre, and I know what the fans are saying. Oh, but if you bring in Kelly Oubre, what does that mean for Grimes? What does it? Throw the ball, roll the ball out,
right,
and let everybody earn their playing time. And I get it. What the Knicks are doing is, these are our guys. These are who we drafted. We're going to give them every opportunity to succeed. I mean, I get that part too. But when I just see good players just laying out there, and it seems to me that the Knicks just don't have any interest because they have their guys.
Well,
Um,
yeah, they show no interest in those guys, but then they keep re-signing Trevor Keels. Like it's like, what are they doing? Then they go Ryan Arcidiacono. Like, why? What's he coming here to do? I that's why I said I don't know what they're doing. I'm sure they know what they're doing. But as a fan, like from the outside looking in, I have no idea what they're doing. All I know right now, we have a pretty good team, we have a pretty good squad, and I think we're gonna be okay. We're gonna do well this season. I mean, we're talking about top four in the
Right.
East, so they must be doing something right, right?
Right.
We just don't know what it is.
I actually think we do know what it is. We just don't want to admit it. That what it is nothing. Like we just don't want to admit that that these are the players that they bank on, improving
Jerrell,
and developing. And
but
stuff.
that's the problem. It can't be nothing. It can't be all these guys getting paid and just for nothing. That's why we don't want to say they're not doing anything. It's got to be something. They got to be cooking up something, and we just have to wait and be patient and see what it is.
The next something coming up is IQ's extension. That's it.
right. Perhaps.
Perhaps.
Because we hear a lot of talk about it, but yeah, we'll see. I wanted Harry Giles too. I don't know. When I look at Miami, they have their culture, but they take flyers on guys. Remember, who was that guy? Was it Ike Austin? Was that his name back in? They just take flyers on guys who are overweight, who have underachieved, and they just bring them in and let's just see. Wasn't Hassan Whiteside? Wasn't he was he an underachiever with Portland, or he just hadn't blossomed yet until
both? Yeah, I would say both.
Yeah, I just want the Knicks to take take a flyer on some players, but Tom Thibodeau is here. Tom Thibodeau has his guys, and I'm not talking about his types of guys. I don't. That's not. I mean, he just has his guy. I got my people. I got my 9-man rotation. This guy might be able to help the team, but I got my rotation. Where are we gonna play him?
Right.
So, yeah, yeah. I'm not. Yeah.
Like I like you said before, with the whole Christian Wood and Kelly Oubre, to say that they can't get any minutes in this rotation is crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? Like
minimum guys. We're not talking about
right.
I
I don't get it at all. That's why I said, yeah, we know the plan. The plan is nothing. We just don't want to admit that it's nothing, because they could have easily got one of them or both of them. Like they're not making that much money.
But what's your thoughts now in terms of where you think the Knicks are? This is the other thing. I don't even know what the Knicks are thinking. Are the Knicks thinking, we have Brunson and Randle right now. Those guys are ready. We need to put some guys around them to take advantage of their window? Or are the Knicks thinking, you know what? We're going to wait for Quickley and Grimes and RJ to come into his own. And once they do, we'll have our core. And it may take them, a little time, but this is what if you had to guess, what do you think they're thinking?
To me, I would like the obvious. For me, it'll have to be waiting on the young players to, develop more. I mean, we always say that they were the youngest team in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
That's almost like a gift and a curse. So they think that the younger players are going to get better. At least I would think. So that's why part of the reason why they're not doing anything. And that extension with Quickley, I know it's saying they might not get it. I actually think they're going to sign him and they want to keep him. But I don't know, would he want to stay here because of Brunson? But I think they're going to stand pat with everything. I don't see a move coming.
Right.
But I don't think they're waiting for the young players to get better, so they thinking they're gonna win with them. I think them getting better increases their trade value. They could probably get more by trading them, and I think you mentioned that all the time, Queen. Work with what you have. That way, these guys become better trade assets by developing. Not that I mean, it just never worked that way. You develop your core and all your guys go up together and then they win a championship. It just doesn't work that way. You're gonna have to plug in a couple of pieces here and there to get to that championship level. So
Yeah, I agree. I was thinking about this today. I think the Knicks are built for the regular season. I don't think the Knicks are built for the playoffs. Like I see the Knicks winning 50 games. I see the Knicks can finish as high as third. You know, obviously, I don't see them as better than Milwaukee or Boston. And even though Philly hasn't beat, they're just in shambles over there, in my opinion. So I do think the Knicks can can finish third. You know, obviously we got to stay healthy and we got to gel and we got to do what we need to do on our end. But I think that that's a legitimate possibility for me. I don't see that as, an out of your mind type of assessment. But when you talk about going deep into the playoffs, in my opinion, the Knicks have a few things that I'm concerned about. And one of them is how young they are, not just in age, but in NBA experience and in playoff experience. And you're trying to go deeper into the playoffs. We're counting on guys like we it's not like Denver. What was their rookie name? Brown, I think, even though it was spelled Braun, but it was Brown, whatever. They weren't counting on him.
Yeah.
Like whatever he gave them was gravy.
Mhm.
Right? Philly, yeah, I think Philly does count on Maxey, even though he's young. I do think they count on him, but he's one player. Milwaukee, they're not counting on any young players.
They don't have any.
Right. They don't even have any. Boston, they may have. I don't think Boston is counting on. I'm not saying the guys that are not in the rotation. I mean counting on them to come through. For the Knicks, we're counting on Grimes. We're counting on Quickley. We're counting on RJ Barrett. And that's my concern going into the playoffs and going deep into the playoffs is we're counting on guys who don't have a lot of NBA experience in Grimes and Quickley, particularly Grimes, and don't have a lot of playoff experience. You know? So we talk about, and Jerrell, you mentioned it, we want to take advantage of Brunson and Randle's window. Even though I think we can still re-sign those guys, but I don't know if you were talking about the salary cap window that we
Yes.
that we have over the next 2 years. If you're going to do that, in my opinion, you can't do both. You can't wait on Quickley and Grimes and RJ and take advantage of this 2-year window because it may take Quickley and Grimes and them 2-3 years to be playoff ready. I'm not talking about they're going to do fine in the regular season. Fine in the regular season. Playoff ready to be able to produce and perform in the playoffs. It may take them some time to do that. So what are you doing? You taking advantage of the 2-year salary cap? To me, that means bringing in players who are proven NBA players and or proven playoff performers. That's just how I see it. And if you're waiting on Quickley and Grimes, that's fine. Then you're not taking advantage of the 2-year window because I think it's going to take them more than that to become playoff performers that you could depend on. I mean, any thoughts on that?
I think that the Knicks front office is a little bit guilty of wanting to have their cake and eat it too. You know, I think they want to hold on to these young guys, and I think they want to maintain that flexibility in case the right deal for a superstar comes along. So they want to have that. They don't want it to be said, well, Luka's available and we already gave away all our picks and we're strapped out and we can't make a deal. They don't want it to be that situation, but at the same time, they're like, well, we want to, kind of massage things and go slow and build slowly. And so I think they're trying to kind of do it both ways instead of really picking a direction. And I think that's where you see some of the frustration among the fan bases, because we all, and as fans, we hadn't had a championship in our lifetime, a bunch of us. So it's like, yeah, we want it to happen now, and maybe, maybe we don't see the move that's over the horizon that's going to be the right one and the good one for whatever reason. But then again, what if that move isn't even there? And then we've just spent all this time treading water, and we've wasted, this window that we do have with Brunson and Randle. So I think you're kind of walking a tightrope, and I'm not sure the Knicks know how to navigate it exactly. I think they want to maintain flexibility. I think there's part of them that really likes the players that they have. And I think that this Quickley extension situation is very interesting, because if they sign Quickley to that extension, that essentially is a no trade clause for him for the upcoming season. Right. So that's really a vote of confidence for him if they sign him to it. If they don't sign him to it, it's kind of, I think it points to what Jerrell was saying, that DiVincenzo they view as his replacement, and they say, well, we'll see what you get in the open market, and if we decide that we want to match it, we will, and if we don't, we won't, because we have a guy who's maybe not quite as young, but can do everything that you can do at a similar price point or less, and I don't like that as from an asset management standpoint. The Suns ended up doing it with DeAndre Ayton, and they ended up getting a decent haul out of it, though. So sometimes holding on to your assets for a little while pays off, because I think that the Suns got exactly what they needed in terms of depth, and they were able to bring in a guy like Nurkic, who does most of the stuff that Ayton does, already, and then they were able to bring in that bench depth that they were sorely missing because they were such a top heavy team, and I'm not saying that guys like Nasir Little and Keon Johnson are that amazing or anything, but I think that they did solve some of their depth issues, and they have, I don't know if they're as good as the Nuggets are, but I think that they're a better team today than they were last week.
No doubt about it. But for me, I just don't think you have to make a significant jump. Just continue to get better. Bring in play, get better and better. The Knicks have 11 first-round draft picks or something like that. If you were to go after an OG, I'm not saying these guys are available. I'm just making a point. A OG, a Brandon Ingram, I don't know, a Levine. Are you giving up all 11 first-round picks? You're not giving up all 11
Right.
first-round picks. So I'm saying is, it's okay to give up one young player, 3 picks for an upgrade. If a superstar becomes available, you could put that player you just traded for, if you want to, in that trade with whatever draft picks you have left. Come on. Like,
But with the draft picks, though, Queen, it's a little bit trickier, because remember, because of the stipend rule, you can't trade every year. So if you and you can only trade up to like 6 years out. And so if you make a deal where let's say we give up our 24 and 2026 picks, that means that we can only trade 28 and 30. That means we can't trade 2025, 2027, 2029. That's not to say that they're not assets. That's just to say that we can't use those assets in a trade for a superstar. So you kind of do, at least from a draft pick perspective, you kind of have to be careful. You notice in this Damian Lillard trade that Milwaukee expended the rest of their draft capital in it. They gave away their 2028, and then they gave swap rights in 2029 and 2030 that are unprotected as well. So that's, Damian Lillard's going to be retired by the time that those picks are even on the table. Right. And there's no guarantee that Antetokounmpo is still going to be in Milwaukee either at that point.
But
so
that's the point I'm making, Geoff. If you give away these picks and you have to give away the later picks, a lot of times the team you're trading for, those are the picks they want anyway. Because they don't want the picks in the next 2 and 3 years where you're going to be really, where you want to be really good. They want
right. So you only get to do that once, though. That's my so it's, yes, we have 11 picks, but our prime picks that people actually want is really only 2 or 3. You see what I'm saying? We have all these other picks, but you know for a fact that other teams don't really want our protected picks from other teams right now. We saw that in this last trade cycle, that no one was really interested in them. Really, what you're talking about is you have 2 or 3 prime picks that are available for a star at some point or other down the road. And if you use one of them, you limit yourself.
Why is it only 3 though?
Because you can only trade every other year.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. So you got 20, what is this? 2023 coming, 2024 coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So 2024, say you give up a 2024 and a 2026. Milwaukee gave up a 28 and a 30. So why the Knicks can't go further than that is what I'm saying.
Well, you could, but you can only go up to 30, and they couldn't go 2025 because we have that top 4 protected right now. Otherwise, that probably would have been in the trade to begin with.
But what I'm trying to say is, if we go 2024 and 2026, you could still go 2028 and 2030. Right? That's what Milwaukee did. Milwaukee did 28 and, and 30. But and I get what you're saying. And first of all, if the Knicks are good, their picks are not going to even be prime picks. Not the 20, hopefully not the 2024s, 25. Those are not going to be prime picks. The prime picks, if you're a team, you want those later ones. Those are the ones you're hoping.
Right. Those are your lottery tickets, and those are the ones. That's what I'm saying. Those are your lottery. You're saying 2024 and 2026. Those are the picks that are least likely that people are going to want, right?
But if they're not going
if they're making a deal, they're going to want the 27, the 29, or the 26, 28, and 30.
That's for the superstar. I'm talking about for an OG. I'm talking about for Brandon Ingram. I don't think you have to give up a 28 and 2030 for those guys.
No, but if you give up 24 or 26, then you're limiting yourself to only being able to give up 2 picks for a superstar. That's what I'm saying. In essence, you really only have 3. If you want to make a superstar trade, you really only have a limited amount of picks, because you're probably going to have to give up 3 picks in that deal, which means that you need to hold on to 2030, 2028, and 2026, or next year it'll be 31, 29, and 27.
But you
and be able to deal those.
Okay, I hear you, Jeff.
Make
it happen. You're not going to tell me that you can't get that. If you go for an OG or Brandon Ingram, if they were to become available, you're not going to have anything left to get a superstar. Because first of all, if you put a Brandon Ingram in a trade, maybe you don't even need 3 first-round draft picks, depending on the players that you give up for said superstar. So to me, I feel like in this scenario, if you were in the front office, I would be like, here we go with another reason to hold on to our draft picks in the hopes that a superstar is going to come down the line, instead of going for a player right now and trusting that with that player and whatever we have left, we're going to be able to make it happen. Because who is this phantom superstar that we're holding on to draft picks for?
I don't know, but look at the Miami Heat. One of the reasons why they couldn't make the Damian Lillard trade that they wanted to make was because they didn't have the premium draft capital that Portland wanted in order to make that happen.
But they went to the NBA Finals 2 out of the last 4 years. So there was a reason why they didn't have capital, because they had built a team that went to the finals 2 out of the last 4 years. So I get what you're saying. There's going to be some risk involved. There's going to be some risk involved. There's no way you're going to be able to plan it all out perfectly. You're going to take a risk. And as soon as you do that, wow, so-and-so is now available. But You didn't know. So what was your choice? To hold on to it? And you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
I don't get the draft stuff. Like they're just holding on to picks, it seemed like. And I don't even think we can't even give up next year's pick, because didn't we trade this year's?
We trade to Portland.
Yeah, so we can't even trade 24. We got to pick 24.
No, because that's expired now, so the clock starts over on that.
What do you mean expired? I thought we couldn't trade. Like we have to trade every other year. So if we traded 23, we could still trade 24.
But 23 is in the so as long as we have a draft pick and a first round pick in this year's draft, we don't have to trade. And we so like, let's say one of our other picks that we have, let's say the Dallas pick conveys, then we could make that trade, but we would have to wait until draft night to make it.
I see what you mean. I got you. Yeah.
And
okay.
But that every other year is for your own draft picks.
Yeah, not the other ones that we have.
Right. Correct.
Right.
But you have to have at least one, is what the rule says. It doesn't say.
Right. Got you.
Right. So you could trade those other picks. That Milwaukee pick is only top 5 protected. But I mean, it'll be a late first round pick. But the Knicks are going to be a late first round pick.
So
hopefully.
Not as late as Milwaukee, though. Hopefully, right? Hopefully.
So we basically have a bunch of not so valuable assets.
That's why we haven't given them up. Oh, we can't. Not saying we can't, but
we can, but they getting worse though. They're getting less valuable every year though.
Well,
so it's just
that's how it works, AJ. Unfortunately. I mean, we traded Obi for 2 second-round picks.
Oh yeah, Jerrell.
That don't convey until.
You really have to remind me of that.
I'm just saying, like that's how. Yeah, our draft picks aren't that good. We just have a lot of them.
Let me get to the chat before we get to the Jrue Holiday stuff. I don't want the Knicks to be reckless and just go out there and just get a 59-year-old player, just so that we could try to make it. That's not what I want them to do, but I do want them to take some calculated
risk.
Some calculated risk. And I would like them to create opportunity. A lot of times you're not looking to sell your business. You sold a bagel shop. You sold a hair salon. Listen, that wasn't the plan, but somebody came in and just made me an offer I couldn't refuse. And so, I sold it.
Yep.
Create opportunity. Anyway, let's get to the chat. Sherwin's Obi's trade was a salary dump. D977. Nobody want these picks. I mean, I think together with a player, I think or two, I think the picks will be. I think the picks will be fine. Rebuild and what? That's how I feel. And I don't know. I don't think I'm being aggressive about it. I just feel like you got 2. If you ever played spades, somebody would say we got 1 in the possible. I mean, whatever. I feel we have 2. And I just feel like we need to do whatever we can to put players around them.
Right.
That's just where I am. We can trade the Dallas pick. We can't trade ours.
That's what I
I'm
thought.
not sure about that.
That's what I thought, because we traded ours in 2023. So Dallas comes up. We could trade Dallas or whatever else we have in the next year.
So that means we can't trade a pick until 2025 then.
Right. That's what I thought the rule was. So 2024, we cannot trade our own pick.
Okay.
I can see what Geoff was saying though. Couldn't we just make that pick and then trade it?
We can, yes.
Once we made the pick, we can trade.
We can.
Yeah, so it's no difference then, depending on who we're dealing with.
Yeah, right.
So I get it.
But we can't trade it ahead of time.
Right,
Exactly.
Yeah, so it can be something we use at trading deadline. We trade our 2024 pick for whatever.
But that should tell you that no moves are going to be made until next season draft night.
No, what about all them other top 18? Top 60 protected picks that we have.
Right. Anthony says defense, she fence. Please stop with the defense nonsense. And Dirty Dancer said, and this might be to what you were talking about, Geoff, you can't owe picks 2 years in a row. You can trade it at the start of the new year as long as you have a 25.
Okay. All right.
All right. There was one here I should have did better at. So what's the point in collecting all of these picks?
They'll say flexibility.
Anthony, what nonsense? How are other teams getting it done? Because scared money don't make money. I do think I'm not going to say the Knicks are scared, but they do come across to me as being a bit conservative. Get a superstar now where Brunson and Randle are underpaid the next 2 years. I don't know if there's superstars available. Now, that part I get for the Knicks. I mean, you can't get on them for not getting a superstar if there wasn't one available, unless you believe that they should have went after Damian Lillard. Unless you believe that they should have not that Beal is a superstar, unless you feel like they should have gone harder at trying to convince Beal to come to New York. I mean, listen, as successful as the Knicks have been, I don't get the sense that we're on teams disgruntled player team list.
Right. Me either, to be honest.
Beal didn't mention the Knicks. Lillard didn't mention the Knicks. These disgruntled players, they're not mentioning the Knicks. So in that respect, it's hard to get on them for not bringing in players who don't seem to be,
Why do you think that, Queen?
We're not a prime destination, Jeff.
He thinks it, though.
Not everybody wants that spotlight. Playing in New York isn't easy, y'all.
Yeah,
Not
right.
everybody's
Anywhere you play in the NBA is a spotlight, man.
Playing in New York is different. Ask Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah.
Not everybody can hack it in New York.
Yeah, sometimes you go to the press conference and be like, I don't know, the 2 newspapers that's in the town.
Right.
They're asking you questions. You can't keep waiting and waiting and waiting. You just have to go to Daryl Morey and offer him the stars in the sky for Joel Embiid. Make it too good to turn down at this point. Oh, boy. Paris Douglas says, salute, Paris. I feel 3 teams under us got better than us now. Ooh, Milwaukee wasn't better. Which 3 teams got better than us?
Maybe some of the young teams. A lot of people talk about Orlando, the Pacers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's some of the young teams that's coming up.
Yeah. Sherwin, what do you guys think about bringing back Marcus Morris for 28 and a second round pick? Where's Marcus Morris? Not like
I would do that.
He's still.
I'm gonna look it up. But we gotta give up Fournier and a pick for Marcus Morris.
Jerrell, you only have like 80 of those second round picks. Okay, it's all right.
That's true.
We're gonna be all right.
You're right. That's true. Hold on. Marcus Morris. He still play for the Clippers.
Right, but I mean, is he still like producing? Is he still?
Yeah, I would definitely bring Mook back.
I mean, for him to be backup power forward, he'll be serviceable.
Right. Quiet Money, salute my brother. Maintain flexibility to do what exactly?
That's the $1 million question, man.
Yeah. Keith Turner, super frustrated in the chat. When is a right deal? Explain that to me. Wow. Whoa. The public enemy number 1. Knicks won't win. I think the Knicks are built for the regular season. Playoffs
won't win 30 games.
Yo, those are those are fighting words, man. Like he's gonna get attacked in the chat.
Just like me, he got Giants hangover because we suck now. You know what I'm saying?
So now you think everybody gonna suck.
Yeah, everybody gonna suck.
IQ and Grimes are the only keepers from the youngers unit.
Pride
I
unit.
guess he's
What do you mean?
saying.
What
I
about
would love to keep them. I just wish they weren't in positions where we needed to depend on them. Right.
old head? What about RJ?
Stop. See, stop.
Just ask.
Stop.
Jerrell, I'm just asking.
Of course, you asked that.
Well, okay, what about Mitch? All right, like let me
Stop.
level it off.
Knicks management are smart people. They're waiting for the right fit. Wood and Oubre are not good fit. Listen,
What are the good fits then? That's
you
what
can,
bro.
and I know Sherman said Oubre is not a good defender. If he has the tools to be, he has the tools to be. If he's not a good defender, he has the tools to be. All right, Kerry Cox. These is fighting words for Geoff and Staffer. Next position, the Knicks will try to upgrade is starting center.
If it's Embiid, sign me up.
We have that conversation every show now between Mitch and RJ, man. We have those conversations every show.
IQ has gotten better every year. D Nice, they better not waste Brunson's time.
Yeah.
I don't think Brunson's going to let him waste his time. I think Brunson's just a winner. I really do. I just think that guy's a winner.
Yeah.
If he's healthy, there's no way we're winning just 30 games. I'm just telling you that right now. No. Sorry, Public Enemy.
Yeah.
No way.
We're looking for a so-called star, and all 460 NBA players are star material for the team they get drafted by and become a better player by strengthening their craft game. Lion of Judah, I appreciate you rocking with us. I really do, but I totally disagree. Everybody is not cut from the same cloth, and you could give everybody the same coaching, the same developmental team, the same number of hours in the gym, and some players are just better than others. That's just, I mean, there's just no way around it. Some players are just better than others.
Yeah. Kevin Knox isn't going to be good. It doesn't matter how much coaching you pour into him.
Yep. Or Frank Ntilikina.
He's way better than me, but I mean, as for on the NBA level, Frank Ntilikina, Kevin Knox, those, I mean, there's some of the best players in the world, but, you know, not everybody's a superstar. It just that's why they're so hard to find. If you could just manufacture them and coach them up, they'd be doing it.
Right. Quiet Money, I need you to relax, my brother. Grimes is not here to allow Brunson to be on the court. Brunson is going to be on the court no matter what. Whether it's Grimes, whether it's whoever, Brunson is. So there is nothing Grimes is allowing Brunson to do now. Come on now. Let's get it straight. Or maybe I'm reading this wrong. It's possible I'm reading this wrong. But Brunson is going to be on the court, period. And the Knicks are doing what any organization does. If your best player has a deficiency, you build out the rest of the roster around them. That's what Milwaukee did. Milwaukee understands that Giannis, as great as he is, he has a deficiency as far as shooting is concerned, and that impacts the team. What did they do? They went out and they put shooters around him, particularly after that Miami game when Miami created that wall. If I'm not mistaken, Miami won that year, if I'm not mistaken. They went out and they got shooters around Giannis. So now you got to pick your poison. You want to build a wall around Giannis? All right, we got you. We got Brook Lopez. We got Middleton. Then they went out and got Jrue Holiday. So anytime your player has a weakness, you're going to go out and so if Brunson's weakness is defense, you're going to put strong defenders around him. But those defenders are not allowing Brunson to be on the court. Brunson is on the court in his own right. And as an organization, you build around their weaknesses. The hate, the low key shade toward Brunson is really strong in this chat. You know, the low key shade toward Brunson, the guy who showed up for us in the playoffs.
He showed up for us, not just showed up.
He showed up for us
better than he was.
He showed up for us all season, and he showed up in the playoffs with limited help. With limited help, inconsistent help, put it that way, with inconsistent help.
You can say limited. Game 6 was.
I like to know, for people who don't like Jalen Brunson's defense, I'm trying to think about what point guard would they like then.
What does Dame Lillard defense look like?
But I think most of the good point guards in the NBA are not stellar defenders. So
Yeah.
they don't want
James Harden, Steph Curry. Like, ooh.
Yeah,
but we always want to give Brunson beef for his defense. Like, oh, we got to point something out negative about Jalen Brunson. Look at all these other point guards. They not playing defense. If we had an opportunity to get Steph Curry, you think people would be like, oh, but he don't play defense.
Or get 10 assists either.
Right. We had an opportunity to get, well, Dame. Say Dame wanted to come. Oh, no, we don't want Dame because he don't play defense. Nobody would be saying that. He's old. He's already 33. I don't know how he fits with Brunson, but nobody would be talking about the defense.
Nope.
All right. So get off of Brunson with the defense. Find me a high-level scoring point guard that also plays defense. Because if you're carrying that type of offensive load, chances are you're not out there also playing every possession. That's for somebody else.
Chris Paul was a pretty good defender.
But he wasn't no all-world. He wasn't no all-world scorer either. He was more of a pass-first point guard.
And never won a chip either. So I guess not a great example.
Very, very rare to have that combination.
Yes. Very rare.
A lot
That's the only name I could come up with, and I was thinking about it from the moment Queen asked the question. So that goes to show you what, it's a small list. Let's put it that way.
Salute to Jerry Fitz. He said Gary Payton was the last one.
Yeah.
Damn,
Well, could play now.
Yes, he can. Yeah. Yes, he can. Absolutely. But if we got to go all the way back to Gary Payton days.
Right. No, I think they really wanted that. They already knew they had Brunson in the bag. But they only wanted Brunson. I don't know about that.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted Mitchell. They just overplayed their hand. They didn't think I'll go back to that again. I seriously think that they were trying to lowball Utah because they thought they were the only suitor. And then they got stunned when Cleveland came up with a really good offer because I think for whatever reason they thought you don't have anybody else prove it. And Ainge was like, oh, okay, we'll just take this deal over here.
Which is crazy to me because this is Donovan Mitchell. Why wouldn't anybody else want Donovan Mitchell but the Knicks? I don't understand why they hit the snooze button on that.
I don't either.
It never made any sense to me. That's why I was so mad about it.
Quality. What's up, Quality? Jump for a long time. I don't think this acquisition will lead to more wins for Milwaukee. Dame rarely stays healthy, and he's not getting any younger.
Man, he averaged 32, 7, and 5 last year.
He only got 68 games, which is
right. He don't got to be that healthy. He don't even have to play all the games. As long as he's healthy toward playoff time.
Right.
AJ crazy.
Right. And 68 games is not bad, actually.
No.
Right.
And in this league of load management, 68 is not bad.
Now that's Middleton 33, I think is the word.
Right.
Yeah, that's different.
Right. Right. All right. Let's get to Jrue.
Before we get to Jrue, reminding people to hit the like button. Hit the like button.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are we at right now?
59
out of 115.
Out of 115.
We need to get to 100 likes, man.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's hit the like button. Let's go.
Definitely. Shout out to the chat. Really active and engaged today.
They are, man. They're on fire.
Yeah. For sure. All right. Does Jrue Holiday fit on the Knicks? Should the Knicks pursue him? What does that mean for our rotation? I would think if he's on Portland is a young team who, listen, this is an aside. I don't think Portland has a bad team. I mean, they got the young and they got the school Anthony Simons and Shannon Sharp, and then you got Jeremy Grant and DeAndre Ayton. I don't think that's a bad. I don't think that's a championship team. They may not make the playoffs, but I don't think that's a team where you're gonna go in and be like, oh, this is an easy win.
Right. Me either.
Yeah, yeah. I like what they did.
To answer your
Depends on
question,
Scoot,
though,
I think.
say that again, Jeff.
Depends on Scoot. I mean, if Scoot's what we think he's going to be,
Right.
but point guard, rookie point guard is a tough road to hoe a lot of times. So that could be a difficult. But if he does like LaMelo Ball did, for instance, that's why I said it depends on Scoot. And I'm real bad at judging what players are going to pop and what players aren't. So I personally, I was a fan of Scoot coming into the draft. So I think he'll do well, but that probably is the kiss of death for him. So I probably shouldn't have said that. But
I think Scoot will be fine. I think he'll be an all-star soon.
Yeah.
That's the talent I think he has.
Yeah. And I thought they would want to keep Jrue. He only has 1 year left on his contract, and he would be a really good mentor for Scoot. But apparently, they're just looking at assets. Just give him the reins, let him live or die, as the point guard and learn from experience. And we're gonna see if we can get another asset for Jrue. Anyway, let's talk about Jrue Holiday's fit on the Knicks. Do you think he's somebody the Knicks should pursue? Yeah, just your thoughts.
Going around with me again?
Yeah, let's
Okay.
start with you.
Well, I think this might be the easiest question you've ever asked me, Steph. I think if Tom Thibodeau was a scientist and was in a laboratory, he would build Jrue Holiday to be his guard. Whether at the point or the two, I think he is perfect for Tibbs. I think he's the perfect type of player for Tibbs. He slides in very, very nicely with Jalen Brunson. So I think he's perfect for us. Can we get him though? That's a different story, especially with the salary. But yeah, I think he's perfect for us. If he was here, there was no rotation problems. He would be our starting two guard, and he will probably be like 35 minutes a game. Like he'll close, he'll start. Like he's perfect for Tibbs. Tibbs will love him.
He can even play point, and you can move Brunson.
Yep.
Off
Either
the
or.
ball. I think with those two, both of them could play on or off the ball.
Yep.
Offensively. Yeah, Brunson has a lot of experience playing with Luka or
Right.
off off the ball. So as far as fit is concerned, that part of it, you would say yes, but would you actually? He's 33 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Portland would probably want a young player given where they are in their team building.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you said he's a fit, but if he was amenable to coming to the Knicks, if the Knicks was on his list, would you trade for him, pursue him?
Absolutely. Like I don't know a young player that I will hold on to for Jrue Holiday. Like we always,
Even at 33?
Yeah, even at 33, I think he's going to play a few more years. He doesn't seem like he's slowing down at all, especially for what we want him to do. Like it's not like we're going to, get Jrue Holiday and expect him to average 30 points like Brunson.
Right.
Like he's there to facilitate and play defense and be a smart player on the court. That's his MO. That's the type of player he is. That's why I say he was perfect for us. And just because he's that perfect for us, yes, I would trade one of our young players, maybe even two. It just depends on what they want. Because I think that's a major thing. Like everything that we want Grimes to be, Jrue Holiday already is. So if we're not want to, like we said, that window is a 2-year window. Like why wait for Grimes if you think Jrue Holiday can already do that? Because he's better than Grimes right now.
But is the window truly 2 years? Like you don't think Randle and Brunson are going to resign?
If they do, look at the salaries that they're going to resign to. We wouldn't. There's no other, getting another superstar. That'll be it. It will be those two and a bunch of, mid-tier guys and low-level players.
Right.
That's just how the NBA is going now. Like,
Right.
after those 2 years and they do sign those extensions, who do you plan on us getting? Like, who do people plan on us getting? There's no superstar coming after those 2 years. They can't. So we have to get the superstar now, or maybe not a superstar, somebody like Jrue Holiday, somebody like a middle tier all-star caliber type guard or forward or center, depending on the upgrade position. But yeah, I would definitely do that. Like I really do think we have a 2-week window in order to get somebody in here.
Not necessarily to win the championship, but
Yeah, not to win the championship, but to get somebody that we think that's going forward to win a championship. Jrue Holiday kind of fits that mold to me, especially. Well, I don't know about the contract though. That's the only tricky thing because you say he has 1 year left, right? How many years he has left?
1.
So that means we would have to extend them. So that's another problem that we would have. But I'd do it though.
Okay. All right. Ajay and then Geoff.
Would I go for Jrue Holiday? Yeah, like Jerrell said, I wouldn't. I think most of the young guys we have on our team, I would gladly offer them to take for Jrue Holiday.
Wow.
Yeah, and that includes
He's a champion.
Yeah, he's a champion. He's experienced. I mean, he's an excellent defender. He's an excellent scorer. He's everything you want in a player, man. 6'5", RJ Barrett's only 6'6". I'm just saying.
Wow.
Yeah, at his age, I would definitely.
Wow.
Yeah, I would.
Wow. Well, I'm surprised. I'm surprised. Okay. All right. Okay. Knicks is nice. Said Knicks are nice. Said I would put Jrue at small forward and call it a day.
Tibbs to do that. He don't care.
Oh, yeah.
You're putting Josh Hart at power forward.
Yeah, Tibbs don't care.
Yeah. Wow. Geoff?
I like the idea of Jrue Holiday. I think as far as archetypes of players that we need on this team, he checks like nearly every box. I mean, if the guy was 6'8", he would check literally every box. But I think the problem is orchestrating a trade that makes sense for Portland with the roster that we have, unless you're talking about a 3-team deal. I was looking at it earlier because Staffa had posted the link to an article, and I was like, well, what would a trade have to look like? And RJ Barrett and Fournier would certainly get it done, but I don't see any reason why Portland would do that, given their situation. You could do Quickley, Fournier, and iHeart would work.
We cannot give up iHeart. iHeart is my heart. We cannot give up.
Well, I'm just saying. But that's my point. Is that it's to make the salaries match, unless you're talking about a 3-team deal, and those are not impossible, but they're certainly more complicated. But just from what I think Portland would be wanting perspective, I don't think that the Knicks are the best trade partner for Jrue for them. I mean, we would like to have him, but I don't see a whole lot that's on our roster that fits just based upon the roster that they have right now. I mean, so they have Scoot and they have Shaedon Sharpe and they have Simon. So that's kind of their backcourt of the future. We don't have a 4 on our roster outside of Julius Randle. They certainly aren't trading. The Knicks aren't doing that anyway, but I mean, so they're certainly not doing that. They just got DeAndre Ayton, so they're not really looking for a 5. So
but they'll be looking for backups though, because that's what Grimes essentially is.
Right. But do they want Grimes though? I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if they would be interested in Grimes. And then Grimes' salary is so small. I mean, Grimes makes even less than Quickley. And so you're talking about. I just think that the machinations of of a Jrue Holiday deal for us are just kind of difficult in putting together something Portland wants, unless they're willing to take that stuff. Let's just say the iHeart trade that I mentioned, and because they're going to get the draft capital that they want out of it. You know what I'm saying? Because iHeart is essentially an expiring salary, and so is Fournier. So then you would have Quickley, who you could either re-sign or not. It gives you that potential young player. And then, so that could be a route. But do the Knicks really want to do that? Because then they have to find a backup five. I don't think that they're really comfortable with the prospect of Sims filling that role full time. Mitchell Robinson's going to miss 25 games probably. So, those are just things that you have to consider.
I hear you, Geoff. But aside from how they could make it happen, do you think he's a fit on the Knicks? And do you think if it was because it could be a 3-team trade as well, as you said. Do you think he's a fit on the Knicks? And do you think the Knicks are close enough to trade for a 33-year-old, or do you feel like it doesn't even have anything to do with contention in terms of whether or not you go for him or not?
I think he checks every box. Like I said, I think, and he checks one that we don't really have a lot of, and that's quality playoff experience. This is a guy who, if you get into the playoffs, you know how he's going to react. You know how he's going to perform. That's exactly what this team needs. Imagine when we were having our struggles and our doldrums, instead of, Quentin Grimes taking that 3-point shot, it's Jrue Holiday. I'm a lot more comfortable with Jrue Holiday in that role. And Grimes maybe even a little bit better percentage-wise, but, in that situation, in that pressure situation, we know he's an NBA champion. We know that he's going to respond and react in the way that you want him to. The lights aren't going to be too big for him in New York, and I think that's a big deal. I actually really like him, and I think it's a two-way, it's a double-edged sword in this. I think getting Jrue Holiday to New York keeps him away from Philly, from Boston, from Toronto, from Miami, who, if he ends up going to any of those places, those teams can potentially leapfrog us in the standings, because Jrue Holiday is that good of a player. I mean, if he's not going to come to the Knicks, please let him stay out west. I sure don't want to see him on a Boston Celtics team, not that Boston Celtics team especially, because if he's there, if Boston gets their hands on him, I think they would leapfrog Milwaukee as the team to beat. So yeah, sign me up for Jrue Holiday. I'm on that train. Come through Jrue.
I'm super surprised. I'm super surprised with the panel. I thought you guys would definitely be against bringing in a 33-year-old Jrue Holiday, even though he's, in my opinion, a great fit next to Brunson. I just thought you guys would think that we're just not there yet and wouldn't want to give away one of our young guys for him, given that we may just have him for like 2 years, 3 years, or what have you. Geoff?
Queen, real quick, as you always say, one of our young guys that may never turn out to be Jrue Holiday.
Right.
That's the logic here. Jrue Holiday, he's already Jrue Holiday.
Right, but he's 33. That's the only,
you have guys you're hoping become him, but he's already him.
I say that all the time. I say it all the time. When we, back in the day, 2 years ago, we were talking about Quickley for Booker. I'm not trading Quickley for Booker. What? Oh, I'm not trading RJ for Donovan Mitchell. I'm like, shit, we hope these players will be what those guys already are.
Devin Booker?
Devin.
Nah, ain't nobody say they ain't. No, I believe
that. Nobody talk that crazy talk. Queen making stuff.
That's some serious orange and blue glasses right there, man.
When we were smoking that young player ganja 2 years ago, everybody was high on the young players. They didn't want to give them up for nothing. Yeah, there was some of that going around. this is a tough one for me. I think Jrue Holiday is perfect. In terms of everything you guys said. His defense, his championship pedigree, he could play on and off the ball with Brunson. I think about when they brought in Eric Snow to play with Allen Iverson. They just moved Allen Iverson off the ball, period.
Yep.
And Eric Snow ran the team. I could see Jrue Holiday doing that and Brunson playing off the ball. My only thing is that he may just have 2 years left. So are the Knicks that close to contention that you'll give up Quickley, for example, give up Grimes, for example, for a guy who may play 2 years? And the Knicks may not get a championship in those 2 years. Yes, Jeff?
If I don't know. I think that I think that he would raise us a level, and we made the second round of the playoffs last year. So I think that it does kind of bring you to at least to the fringe of contention. And imagine having a backcourt of Brunson and Holiday and have Julius Randle play like regular season Julius Randle.
God.
You got problems there. The NBA's got problems if that's the case. That is tough. And then you can pick we have 3 guys we can put in that other wing spot that I'm comfortable with. I don't care if it's Grimes. I don't care. I don't really want RJ in that spot, but other people wouldn't mind. But whoever's left, I'm saying, even if it's Josh Hart and Dante DiVincenzo, I think you've got enough guys who can shoot the ball and defend and do the things that we want them to do. Man, I do think that, it's kind of like how we said OG Anunoby would be a better fit than RJ Barrett. I think that you're plugging in that kind of a player there that in the right role, in the right situation, that the coach is going to love, that's going to, there are certain players who are already a part of your culture even before they join your culture.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's just his DNA, his Knick culture, I think. And so when you add that kind of player, and this is an all-star level player. I mean, this is a 2-time all-star, defensive player of the year. I mean, Jrue Holiday is a really good basketball player.
You don't have to sell him to me. The only thing I'm concerned of is just giving up a young player for maybe 2 years of service. But Jrue Holiday is him. I mean, he would fit like a glove on this team. And I said this, I think it was last week, and I think earlier in the show as well. Then I have concerns about the Knicks in the playoffs because they're depending on them. And they're just not ready. And that's a lot to ask of them. You can't even get on them if they don't perform. Why are they in that position? You know what I mean? So Jrue Holiday, if the Knicks could, that changes everything. The Knicks just level up with Jrue Holiday on this team. They just level up.
I think I'll be more concerned if I saw him slowing down. And he hasn't yet. Like, he was first team all defense last year. Yeah. Like almost 20 points a game, 7 and 5. The first team, I think 19. Like 19 something, like almost 20 points a game. Right, so if I could see if he was slowing down, but that compared to what we have now, I'm trading for them. I guess maybe that's how we feel about the young players that we have.
Right. And another thing is like when you think about Brunson and Randle being ready, and you think about wanting to put players around them who are ready, I don't know how much better you can get than Jrue Holiday. But Keith Turner said, we need wings. Why would I give up assets for another guard? And we already have a fleet of them. Because in my opinion, Jrue Holiday is not another guard.
Yeah.
He's better than any guard we have on this team other than Brunson. And if Stafford was here, he would tell you that he's better than Brunson. So I don't think this is just another guard, in my opinion. Any thoughts on that?
6'5" with a 6'7" wingspan. I mean, he's got legit wing size. I don't, maybe a little bit small, but I mean, he could play the 3 on this roster for sure, in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So and this is a guy who's mainly a 1 and a 2, but he could play he has positional versatility on both ends of the floor for us. So I don't see I see him as a wing, Keith. I respect your opinion, but I see him as a wing.
Yeah, I don't see him as just another guard, like an all-star caliber guard compared to the young players that we have, and they're not all-star caliber players, so it's not the same. It's like apple and oranges at this point.
Yeah, he could definitely play the 3 on this team. Josh Hart is 6'4". He's playing the 4.
Right. And you're upgrading that position. You're upgrading that position because one of those guys you would think would go.
At least one.
Jerrell said he would give up 2. He said I would give up 2 of them.
Yeah, I'm not big on our young guys like most people are. Like they can go. Like I'm trying to win games and win playoff series, man. Like I like IQ and Grimes, and RJ's cool. It's not like I really, really like him, but it's not like I dislike him. But yeah, I would trade 2 of them to get Jrue Holiday.
Wow. Rebuild NYK said he could play 1 through 4, probably on a switch.
Yeah, on this team,
like
absolutely.
if it's a switch off and he winds up, with a power forward, but I don't know if you would just come out and be like, okay, we putting you.
For me, all of it will be on for switches. Not that I'm not starting him at the 3.
Right. Salute, sis. Pamela Willis, appreciate you stopping by from Facebook. Holiday would push everyone on defense because he's so aggressive. Yeah.
And I think Hart and Holiday would be an excellent combination. And then you get someone like DiVincenzo is excellent on the ball with steals. We could put some lineups together that would just terrorize folks. I think that Thibodeau could get in his defensive lab. It would be a happy camper, boy. He could come up with some defensive schemes.
I agree, Shell Legacy. Appreciate you rocking with us today. He's a 6'5", 2-way point guard. We don't have that at all on this roster, not even Brunson, right? Excuse my dog, guys. Grimes, IQ, or RJ, any 2 can go, but it most likely won't happen. I'm really, really surprised. I thought there would be a lot of anti-Jrue Holiday. I don't know it would be anti-Jrue Holiday as much as it would be not wanting to give up the young guys. I thought there would be more of that.
Just because of the age?
Because of the age. And I think as a fan base, we like our young guys and we want to see them grow up and grow into their roles.
Okay.
Okay.
Not me. Not me. Like they're cool. They're all right.
Jerrell's like, sure.
Yeah, they're all right.
Yeah, sure.
Jrue is a guard, a wing, or a post player. Whatever you need. He's a amoeba. What do you need?
Pretty much.
Yeah. He's good. He's really good.
Wow. Brooklyn Butch, we would leapfrog to the best in the East, period. Wow.
Well, we match up with pretty much anybody.
Do you think now I'm talking about Randle being I'm talking about regular season right now. Do you think we would be up there with Boston and Milwaukee if we got Jrue Holiday? With Jrue, Brunson, and Randle? Regular season, I'm talking.
Yeah, that's a quick answer. Yes.
Yeah.
I guess I'm being a homer, but yes.
Yeah, it's adding another all-star to our starting 5. Yes. Or if that case, we shouldn't say that they can be the 3rd seed then.
Queen, you don't think so? I see you thinking about it.
Like if you think we can get to the 3rd seed, like that's a possibility to add another all-star to the starting 5. Yeah, we would definitely
Yeah.
be in the same breath as them. I'm
Yeah.
not saying that we
I mean,
would
if that's the
leapfrog them.
case, then I think the Knicks should be going all in right now. Then
That's what I actually think. But all in as in what though? We was talking about like superstar packages.
oh
I'm
no,
not
not a superstar. I
right,
mean,
right. Okay. Yeah,
all in with the other teams that's going after him. I just feel like the Knicks are never aggressive like that.
never.
They like, oh, we got our 2 people we're waiting to see who becomes, available, and it's not one of those. So we're just gonna, because even the article said the Knicks might, like I read an article like the Knicks might, it wasn't like the Knicks are definitely interested in Jrue Holiday. It was like the Knicks might kick the tires. It was like one of those articles.
Right. Unless they really, really, really love Quentin Grimes.
Grimes scored 15 or more 17 times out of 93 games, and you guys got him going to the Hall of Fame.
That's what I'm saying. Like the front office will really, 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 really like Quentin Grimes in order to not pursue Jrue Holiday to me. We gotta talk about hey, I guess everybody on it tonight, man. Get them young guys out of here. I don't know when to switch though, Steph. So I get what you're saying. Because we've been talking about our young guys like, they're untouchable.
Right. Dirty Dancer said, if we already had the superstar, you want Jrue. Because we don't, it's not worth it. But sometimes you can't get superstars. Sometimes you just got to have 2 stars.
Right. I think with that attitude, we would never get anybody then.
Right. There's only but so many superstars in the league.
Right.
How many lineups have 3 bona fide all-stars like that, though? I mean, there are others out there, but I mean, having 3 all-stars in your starting lineup is pretty good as far as I'm concerned. That's not something we've seen out of the Knicks in a long time. So sign me up for that. Even, the guy can play. The guy fits with what we like to do perfectly. I mean, I don't see. I know I get the age, but as far as we're talking about the next 2 years with Brunson and Randle, I think that's the perfect guy to plug in, and he's healthy too. He's been a warrior. He's been a horse. He's a guy you can rely on as far as availability is concerned too. So yeah.
D-Nice77 said, we can always draft a young guy with potential. Get the proven guy.
Agreed.
I mean, listen, Keith Turner, he said, if Holiday was a wing, I would be all for it. If you can switch a Holiday for a Grimes or a Holiday for a Quickley, that's an upgrade, period. You could still get a wing.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can still get a wing, but that's an upgrade. He wow. Jrue makes Brunson and Randle better. Yeah. No. Yeah.
Of course. Whole team.
Right. I would keep Grimes as a Jrue replacement. It's time for us to make a move. What are we waiting for? No superstars are coming.
Well, what if you can't keep Grimes, though? What if they want Grimes? Are you still doing the trade, Joel? Or Joel?
Right.
Because I would slingshot Quentin Grimes to Portland for Jrue Holiday right now.
You would do what?
I slingshot him right to Portland for Jrue Holiday. If that's what's going to get me Jrue Holiday, yes, he's going to Portland.
He's like, I'll be his Uber and I will drive him there myself.
Wow. Wow. Knicks don't have another dominant power forward to give us 24-10. If Randle goes down, good luck relying on Sims. No wings, nor a power forward. Now it's down to 28 wins for the Knicks. Bam by him. Yeah, all right. I hear you, D Public Enemy. I know it's a down day. Dame Lillard went to Milwaukee. look like we might not be getting Jrue Holiday. We don't have a power forward on the team. I get it. I get it. I definitely get it.
Julius played 77 games last year. Started, didn't he? And played like 36 minutes. He ain't going anywhere. I mean, hey, I think he's recovered from his ankle. He's a warrior. He's the king of availability. Knock on wood. But I mean, if Randle goes down for the year with an injury, we in trouble anyway, right?
I don't care who you got behind him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could be talked into giving up RJ, not a chance with IQ and Grimes. You don't give up potential two-way players when you won't win a chip. Listen, you may not win a chip with IQ and Grimes either. Even though they're two-way players, you may not win a chip with them either. Do you have a better chance winning a chip with IQ and Grimes potentially becoming the players you want them to be, hoping Brunson and Randle is still around when they do, or a player who's proven with a Randle and Brunson who are ready right now, in my opinion, if they had the team around them? Brooklyn Butch, Holiday stops the point of attack better than any guard in the league. And that's, the Knicks would have a really good defense just from that alone. Just from that alone.
That's how you know we're not going to trade for him.
Right.
It makes too much sense.
Too good.
That's what Anthony D said. That makes too much sense for the Knicks. We're not gonna do that. Okay. Okay, yeah, that was an earlier comment. Crazy to think that a 2-year player is being dependent on. The pressure is not fair. Yeah, I agree. Those guys should be coming. Usually you have your young guys, they're in your rotation, particularly if you're a playoff team, but you're not like counting on those guys. We have 10 shoot. Why not bring another one here? Yeah. I know you're trying to be funny, Sherman, but yeah.
We have 10 shooting. Well,
why not bring another one? Because he's better.
And we'd probably be getting rid of at least one of those guards in a trade. So maybe 2.
Yeah, if you had a good one, you wouldn't need 10.
Yep.
Oh boy.
The reason we got 10 is because we don't have a good one. Like it's still a position that we need to upgrade. We just have a lot of, I don't want to say average players, but none of them are stars. At least not yet. Like they're all potential. Like if you think they're going to be that, then that's a completely different conversation, though.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you, Kevon. Jrue would be better than all 10. Would love to see Jrue versus Dame if he's on our squad.
Yeah, if he's on our squad.
Yeah. Anything else on this? I just wanted to talk real quick about Mitch Robinson, and then we can get out of here. Anything else on this? You've been real quiet today, Ajay. You good?
I am great. What do you mean? I've been talking all night.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I said my piece about Jrue. I said who I'd give up for him. But I'm kind of watching the game also.
Okay. All right. That's cool too.
The Packers game.
Yeah, I've mastered both. I've mastered being able to do both. And it ain't a good game anyway.
Yeah.
Don't forget we got the Bucks on Christmas. Yes, we do.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's something we didn't talk about.
Josh Hart already invited Dame Lillard to his house on Christmas because remember they was teammates last year.
Oh yeah, they were. Second ball handler needed, as we talked about.
Yep.
Yeah. This we looking like a high school team with Brunson bringing the ball down by himself and everybody else up the court.
And you stagger those two, you can have the other one lead the second unit too.
Yeah, stagger them. Yep.
If we had Jrue Holiday, I think we beat Miami.
Listen,
No question.
Even though he was part of the team that they lost to, though. He was
it
on
wasn't
that
because
Milwaukee.
of him though.
It wasn't because of him, though.
Yeah, that was a strange series.
Yeah.
Miami shot like 60% from three or something ridiculous like that. It was insane.
What did we shoot when we played them? Like 6.
I don't know.
They shot 60. We shot about 6. Like
Yeah, pretty much. I think that's right, Jerrell.
Wow. So training camp opens Monday. I don't know why I thought training camp opens today. So to my Patreons, so I sent out the video
Monday.
like, training camp opens, tomorrow. Monday, October 2nd. Training camp opened. And they're training in Charleston, South Carolina this year. They're not going to be training in New York.
Anybody
So
know why they switched that? Like, I have no idea why they in South
I don't
Carolina.
know. I'm wondering, you know me, do you think it's the media availability?
Probably.
But the media is going to travel out there anyway. Probably won't be as much though.
Yeah, not as much. But yeah. If you cover the Knicks, you have to be out there.
Yeah.
I would think so. I don't know.
They're probably gonna be training somewhere where there's no internet, like power outages.
You're going to your auntie's house in Georgia there.
Right, exactly.
Mhm.
All right, let's talk about briefly Geoff's guy, Robinson. I believe it was his trainer, I want to say, said that Mitch has been working on his offensive game, that he has more in his bag, basically, and imploring Thibodeau to give Mitchell Robinson the ball. Yeah, they did, Staffer. I remember that.
Shoot the staffer, man.
Yeah.
Steph,
They did it in the 90s with Pat Riley. Other teams are switching up too. Yeah. I think Denver, this is their 3rd year in another place. Philly does that as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So just your did you guys happen to read that article or see that headline?
Mm-mm. Not about Mitch.
Yeah. Listen, just be a threat. If obviously he will have to get the ball a few times to be a threat. I'm okay with that. Like if he has some offensive moves that he's been working on, hopefully when he comes to camp, he'll show it. I would love to see that. He gets a long rebound, a rebound that's not, like I'm not gonna say a long, like 5 feet from the basket. Turn around, dude. Let me see that turnaround hook. Let me see that drop step. If that's what you have. So that would help the Knicks tremendously if he became an offensive threat. Yes.
I don't even need him to be an offense. I don't need no move. I don't need no turnaround jump shot. Just be the same Mitch, but shoot more than 70% from the free throw line. I'm
70?
Yeah, that's a lot.
You
listen.
You want him to just be
Spend,
oceans.
Jerrell, spend
What
all
are you
summer
talking-
shooting free throws. That's all you got to do. Forget about everything else. Just spend all summer shooting free throws.
His trainer ain't say that he was, performed a miracle during the summer though, AJ. 70 is a big one.
From 48 or 49, whatever it
Yeah,
was.
damn. Like that's nuts.
But listen, Sims did it. Sims was like 40 something, and then he went up to what 75. But I know he only took 10 shots.
Yeah, he took like 10 all season. With the Mitch stuff though, I don't even know what to say to that, other than like almost. I don't want to say so, but so like he like Steph said, you have to show it. Like nothing that your trainer says is going to make Tibbs do anything. If he sees you do it in practice, he would trust you more doing it in the game. It's really that simple. Like if you can't do it in practice, no, you're not going to get the ball, and they're not going to run any plays for you down there. Like, why would they? Like Steph said, you have to do it in training camp. See what you do. Like your trainer's saying something. I'm almost mad that he said that. I didn't know he said that. Like it's almost like so what? Like I don't care. Your trainer should be quiet when it comes to stuff like that. Just train the player and make the player prove to the coach that what he can do. You don't need to come out and say anything.
Well, if he does it, this is when I'll know. Even if he doesn't take a shot, if he get the ball at the free throw line and he turns toward the basket,
right? You could, yes.
Then I'm like, okay, he's becoming more comfortable on the offensive end. And then if he turns around and passes it to somebody, and it's not a dribble handoff, all right, I'm encouraged. I'm encouraged because not more than, but yeah, I guess so. I just want him to I just want the offense to flow with him on it. You know, even if he's not scoring, you know, I just feel like his offensive feel for the game is not there. Forget the scoring. His feel for the game on the offensive end doesn't seem to be there. But listen, if he's working on his game and he has that helps the Knicks tremendously. Geoff, anything you want to say about? I know you're the president.
No, with these, it's like these summer videos and all this. I don't put any stock in that stuff. I just don't. I mean, I don't really care what his trainer said. I mean, you know, I hope he's right. You know, make your free throws. You know, show me, bro. I don't. You know, and until I see it, it's just hot air to me. Again, it's as you said. If that's the truth, that's great. But you know what? I want Jalen Brunson to have the ball. He's one of the best finishers in the NBA. I want Julius Randle to have the ball because he's a 25-point-a-game scorer. I don't care if Mitchell Robinson takes shots. Be an elite defensive player, do your thing on the offensive glass, and make your free throws. Other than that, you know, that's your role on this team. I don't need you to pretend to be Hakeem Olajuwon when you're not, you know. I don't, you know, be a star in your role, as someone a lot wiser than me once said. You know, be a star in your role, and I just don't see that with this team as being his role. I don't need to see him, you know, taking a bunch of shots. I don't. I think we have better scorers than him, and you know, I agree. Be a threat, and if this opportunity presents itself, that's fine. But you know,
right. That's all I'm saying. I agree with you. He's not going to get a lot of shots anyway, but be a threat so that they have to honor you, and that'll help create, you know, some space, you know, for the Knicks, and maybe we'll get better at finishing at the rim. Somebody said catch the pass too.
Yep.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. All right. Anything I didn't cover that you guys want to? Oh, let me take this down.
Nah, nothing else really happened in the league or with the Knicks. At least not since last week, other than the stuff that we talked about, I don't think.
Let me just ask this real quick.
Okay.
How does it impact the Knicks if Jrue Holiday goes to another team in the Eastern Conference? Do you think that depending on where he goes, the Knicks could finish lower than, like, say, for example, if he goes to Philly, do you think that the Knicks now finish below Philly?
There's definitely a possibility.
It could.
If he goes to Miami, we most likely will finish. Miami will probably be past us.
Oh, hold on. Miami. Okay.
Let's talk about regular
Bam. They got Bam.
Right.
Because I was going to say, well, they got is Jrue and Butler, but they got Bam, and then they got Tyler Hero coming back. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's possible.
Definitely possible.
That's possible.
Like, I don't know. They had an off year. They just, you know, end up being hot towards the end of the year because they barely made the playoffs. I don't expect Miami to play like that next season.
Right.
I expect them to be better than they were last year.
Right. If he goes to Boston, Boston is, or I already have Boston finishing
Right.
ahead of us.
Right.
But he makes them tough.
Yeah, if I'm Boston,
Tough.
I would throw the sink at Portland to get Jrue Holiday after that Dame trade.
Can you imagine?
Any I would
I
try
don't
to
want to
keep.
imagine. Please don't make me imagine it.
Yeah.
You
If
lose
you can
you
keep
lose Marcus
Tatum,
Smart.
Brown, and Porzingis, and then you add anybody else, I got my
Oh
expansion
yeah,
draft. Yeah, like those three,
yeah. They're not going anywhere. None of them are going anywhere.
and you add Jrue Holiday.
But give them like White or I don't know somebody else. Yeah, that'd be dangerous.
Yeah.
We still might be the third seed though. You know what I'm saying? We just definitely won't be better than the first two. That's all.
Right.
Get up there though.
And Brooklyn. I mean, I haven't heard anything about him going to Brooklyn, but
Yeah, Brooklyn.
because you can move Dinwiddie. Dinwiddie can play off the ball.
Yep. Him, Dinwiddie, Brooks.
Bridges,
I mean, not Brooks.
Johnson.
Bridges. Yep. Johnson. Yep. They'd be a problem too.
I don't like
Claxton.
You don't like it, Adrian. I'm sure you don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. If he goes anywhere in the Eastern Conference, that definitely impacts the Knicks.
Yeah.
What about somewhere like? See, I'm thinking somebody off like the Pacers or something. Him being in the same backcourt with Halliburton, I could see that too.
Yeah. I could see that.
Yep. Send Buddy Hield over there. Get Jrue Holiday. They're a completely different team.
Yeah. They would probably have to do, I think, whichever team, it might have to be a 3-team trade, unless they're looking for players off of their bench. Because it seems like they're prioritizing, youth.
Right.
Well, I saw that they want at least 2 first-round picks and probably a young player as well.
Wow.
For Jrue. That's what I saw, or I thought I saw.
We got that. Get on the phone.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But I think that's the asking price. I think they want 2 first-round picks and a young player besides.
It just brings me back to, are the Knicks there? But I hear what you guys saying, that if we got them, we would be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dang, that would be good, man.
That's why we know it's not happening, that Jake.
Nope.
Because it would be, oh wow, because it would be good.
You never said it was going to happen, Steph. You just ask us questions. Would we do it? Do we think it's going to happen? Hell no. No way.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Knicks can't have nice things, man.
Yeah. I'm gonna wake up in the morning and he's gonna be in Miami.
Yep, chilling.
Kevin Bergen said that's their price. I guess I haven't read it.
I really don't want him to go to Philly because you know that's the team that drafted him. So I think he would go there in a heartbeat, especially if they don't have to give up Maxey.
I'd be asking for Maxey though.
Of course, I would too. But if they can get him without giving up Maxey, so they have Embiid, him, Maxey. I don't know about James Harden, but they'd be dangerous.
They would. Who cares about James Harden at that point? You just cut him.
Right.
No. Don't act like James Harden is baloney. Like I wouldn't cut.
If he don't want to be there, he is though. If he don't want to be there, he's a cancer, and he is. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying James Harden not a good basketball player, but if he's determined to be the self-destruct button in your organization, then
Got you. I trade him for 2 second-round picks that don't convey until 5 or 6 years before I, cut him.
Right. You're fair enough.
I see what you mean, though.
Shout out to Quinton Gilliam. I hope I got that right. Appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat. The East is hard for the streets. We got to swing for the fences. Peace. Yeah.
I would go with Jrue Holiday, man. Now that we have this conversation, because I was thinking about this all day, getting Jrue Holiday. But now that we all talked, I definitely would get Jrue Holiday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Keith said he's gonna end up on the Clippers.
Yeah, the Clippers. Yeah, I heard the Clippers.
I'm okay with that. If he
Oh,
can't come to the Knicks, let him go to the Clippers.
Carey said, "Shoot the Carey in the chat." He said Minnesota. I pair him up with Ant-Man. That's dangerous too.
That's dangerous.
Yeah, that would be.
But I would think that they would want to see. He would want to go to a contender, and I would think that they would try to oblige him if they can, or just like they did with Dame, they sent they sent it where they got back what they wanted to get. So
yeah, they don't owe him nothing.
Yeah, that's true.
But with Cat, Anthony Edwards, Jrue Holiday, I'm not saying they'd be Gobert. I'm not saying they'd be a contender, but they'd be not that far
in the
away.
West, they wouldn't be that far. They'd be probably a top 3 or 4 seed.
They would not be that far with that core.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on who they give up, they had to probably give up like McDaniels or something though. That'd be tough because he's good. He's going to be good. Talk about potential.
Nice. Yeah,
he's nice.
Yeah, that kid is nice.
Those are the type of players I would love for the Knicks. Him, Tyree Eason, just these all around energy type defenders.
Stuff like that just piss me off, Steph.
Yeah.
Like Knicks can't have nice things like that.
Yeah. Herb Jones is another one.
Right.
I like just tall defenders.
That you got like in the middle of the first round. They weren't even some of them weren't even lottery picks.
Somebody
got to be 6'5" or under to be a Knick these days.
Right.
Right. Somebody mentioned a possible 3-team trade with Jrue to the Sixers and Harden to the Clippers.
I can see that.
I could see it though.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That makes sense.
Matter of fact, him going over there actually serves pretty well for Philly.
Yeah.
Because now they have a reason to give Harden to the Clippers.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it's not like they was going to do a deal with Milwaukee to get Jrue Holiday.
Right.
They would definitely do a deal with Portland.
Right.
So
what does Portland get in that deal though?
Picks, bench players, just like we was talking about earlier. I don't see them getting anybody significant. It had to be like a young player in picks.
Yeah. Any other last words? I'm looking for. So I just want to say I don't think I have the. Let me see. It might still be up from the last time. Let's see. Yes. Yes. I want to talk about the Patreon. I appreciate my Patreon, Sam, J Tab. I got to get the names of the others. I appreciate you. I put out my first Patreon video on the forwards. So I talked about Josh Hart. I talked about RJ Barrett, and I was fair, in my opinion. And I talked about Evan Fournier, and I'll do the centers later. So these are just the ways to support the channel. There's free content and there's paid content. All the way to the right, the Just Nickin' It weekly show, my audio podcast, which is the Just Nickin' It audio podcast, wherever you get your podcast from. That's a way to support the channel because the more downloads I get, the advertisers pay. But if you want to be a Patreon, I'll put the link in the description. $3 a month to help the channel. That's like a donation, basically, for the content that's already provided on the channel. You'll be acknowledged during videos, live shows, and podcasts. But for $5 a month, you'll get the morning recap show. Well, let me do it this way. You'll get Patreon-only videos, live shows, and podcasts. I already started that. I also have a ladies' night coming up this month, and I'm hoping, if we have a good time, I'm hoping I can convince them to do it once a month. But in October, which is Patreon preview month, it's going to be available to everybody. But if I can get them to commit to doing it once a month, that will be a Patreon only show. And so what I'm doing is I'm using the Substack newsletter, and that's how I'm getting this content out to my Patreons. Okay. So it'll come right to your box. Anything new will be in that newsletter. Whatever I did the week before will be in the newsletter with the links. Even if I was a guest on somebody else's show, it'll be there. You don't have to go searching for me. It's coming right to your mailbox with all of the links. I did the first one the other day and it was super fun, actually. But other ways to support the channel: download the audio podcast, like the video. If you're watching the show on replay, comment while you're watching or after. Share the show on your social media platform. I know a few of you do that. I really appreciate that. And then, of course, super chats are a way to support the channel. All right. Any last words, guys?
And you'll be on NBK Queen's Court on Monday, right?
Yes. So Queen's Court is back. That's my monthly show on the Nothing But Knicks channel. Thank you, Geoff. So I wasn't there for the off season, but I'll be back with the weekly show. So if you're familiar with the morning show, the morning recap show, that's just me giving you my takes on the game. I have the slides. I kind of set up, who the starters were, who we played, who we're going to play, blah, 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 blah. But every Monday on Nothing But Knicks, we go through that week of games, 3 or 4 games, and then we do it with a panel. Geoff is joining us, so I'm super looking forward to that. Tony Crow from Knicks and Bruisers will be there, and DJ Shuttle. If you haven't already, check him out on Fridays. Is it 108 Soul or Soul 108 on iHeart Radio? One of those, Soul 108 or 108 Soul. DJ Shuttles Friday from 8 to 10. If you into the old school rap and hip hop, nice. He does a really good job. So for now, it'll be us four. I believe Ebony from Venture Sports Network, she'll be joining us on that show October 2nd. I don't know if she'll continue, but she'll be joining us on that first show as well. It's usually at 8:30, but it'll be at 7 because the Giants play Monday, October 2nd. All right. At halftime, I'm going to be on with Jerrell, Die Hard Giants Live.
Yep.
Okay. Podcast. So I will be on with him.
Yep.
Yes. 108 Soul. Get it right, Queen. 108 Soul. Mega, I appreciate you. We got 94 left, 84 likes. Let's see if we can get those likes up to 94 before we get out of here. J-Tap, I appreciate you. My apologies, J-Tap. I had the Knicks. I had the training camp opening yesterday, but it's Monday. I'm glad you appreciated the contact. That's one of my Patreons, J-Tap, from the beginning. I appreciate you. All right. Jerrell, you want to talk about your show? Did you put out a video?
No, I did not put out a video. Usually the look aheads come out on Wednesday, but I moved it. I made a post on whoever subscribed to the channel, Die Hard Giants Live. I made a post today yesterday saying that I will make a video tomorrow on Friday. Okay. That's just because I want to make sure the injury report is a little more updated because we don't play on Sunday. We play on Monday night.
Okay.
So the days that we play on Monday night, I'll probably push back the video a little bit. But yeah, video for the Seahawks will be out tomorrow, and I'll be live during the game. Check me out, Die Hard Giants Live.
Definitely. I'll be there. I will be there. All right. We are all set. Ajay, you don't have anything?
No, I'll be there. I'll be there on Wednesday. I'm in the chat with the Jerrell show.
Monday, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'll be there Monday.
Okay.
Making your lives difficult.
Yeah, exactly. Trying to tell us what's going on ahead of time.
Real quick, salute to Dwayne in the chat because he left me a comment on my post about it. Remember, the look aheads aren't live though. I'm gonna just put out a video. It'll probably be like around 20 minutes long, but it won't be live though. So just want everybody to know that the lives will just be for the games.
Okay. And that starts at halftime. Halftime.
But tomorrow, the look ahead video, I'll drop it sometime in the evening. I'm gonna be working on it tomorrow.
Nice. I love those.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, here come Ashley. All right, Wiz.
Salute to Wiz in the chat.
I know. I'm gonna give you some love, Wiz, but you coming in mad late. We about to check off, but I'm one reason to pick up Jrue is to prevent Miami, Philly, or Indiana from getting him. We should hope he stays out west. Now we should hope he comes to the Knicks.
Comes to MFG is what we should hope.
Right. But if he doesn't, then yeah, stay out west. Anyway, until next time, family.
You tune in, that means you're feeling the vibe. The bell rung, you already been subscribed. Right now, the queen, she on live. Please pull over the whip, no phoning when you drive. Dope Soul, sporting with the talk. First lady from New York, Brooklyn. All my people, you rocking with the chat. Hit that. The like button would tell me where you at. You know, Step from the NBK. Born and raised up NBK. Hey, real lady, where she holding it down. No matter way how you feel, she gon' greet you with a smile.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Oh, sister, it's time you
That's
shine. Dope Soul.
Where you at?
Dope Soul.
Where you at?
Dope Soul.
What?